Hey, Rebel Rouser. I'm Alan Voivod, and this is Star Wars 7 by 7 So, as far as big news from Lucasfilm, well, maybe not so much. It doesn't seem like San Diego Comic-Con and Lucasfilm's presence at San Diego Comic-Con is built for big announcements. That being said, there's certainly opportunities for interesting things to happen, and the two main ones are the Clone Wars 10th anniversary panel and the Disney Lucasfilm publishing panel. Those are happening on Thursday morning and Friday afternoon, respectively. Now, when it comes to the Clone Wars panel, so yeah, it's a 10th anniversary panel. It's a retrospective kind of thing, but of course, the folks at the Star Wars show are saying, yeah, you don't want to miss this. And D. Bradley Baker, who was the voice of the clones, all the various clones on the Clone Wars series, has already tweeted and said, hey, Clone Wars fans, you really don't want to miss this. And yeah, there's an implication that there's going to be something new announced. It's not just going to be a walk down memory lane, but that there might actually be some news of some kind announced for it. What that could be, well, who knows? I mean, maybe it's an announcement about story arcs that were never completed with the Clone Wars that might be getting a completion. That would be rather remarkable. Not sure, but we're going to be checking in on it during the week, and particularly on Thursday when the panel happens. And if it's a big news announcement, then we'll do a bonus episode and let you know as soon as the word gets out. As far as the publishing panel, well, Michael Siglain, who's the creative director of Lucasfilm Publishing, is going to be heading up that panel, and they haven't announced who's going to be appearing on the panel. They're keeping that under wraps, so it's surprise guests, if you will, and there are going to be previews and announcements about what's happening with Star Wars Publishing coming up, so I expect that we're going to hear about new novels, and that could mean anything, quite honestly, because right now the novels that they've done have been all over the place in terms of where they take place in the Star Wars timeline. Something that I would be really interested in hearing about, and quite honestly I'd be surprised if they didn't do it, is a Resistance novel. So Star Wars Resistance, the animated series, is coming out in the fall of 2018. When Rebels was about to debut, they released the novel A New Dawn by John Jackson Miller, and it introduced us to the characters of Kanan Jarrus and Hera Syndulla, and that was a prequel to the Star Wars Rebels TV series. It happened just a little bit before that TV series took place, in the canon timeline, that is. And so it would be really rather interesting to see an announcement of a Star Wars Resistance novel on the horizon that would be a lead-in to the Resistance TV series. And that in itself is, of course, exciting because anything that gets us into that Resistance time period and tells us more about what happened with the rise of the First Order and the building up of the Resistance against it and how the New Republic reacted to all of this, yeah, that's stuff that is really still very mysterious as far as the timeline goes. And so that's something that I think would be number one on my list of, oh boy, I hope that's the sort of thing that they announce at this publishing panel. And then there's the Hasbro Star Wars panel that's happening, and there's a possibility, it's a real outside possibility. You know, we do occasionally get new information about Star Wars stories and whatnot from Hasbro toys, but I think it's rather an unlikely proposition that we're going to get any new information out of that one. But again, I'm going to keep my ear to the ground on it, and if there is any new news to report, then, you know, you'll hear about it right here on the podcast. But for now, that's going to do it for our SDCC preview of what's happening with Star Wars. And stay tuned to the podcast this week. We will let you know as soon as news breaks, assuming news breaks. And that's going to do it for this episode. So, you know, if you want to check out the audio version at sw7x7.com/iTunes or Spotify or Overcast, wherever you like to listen to podcasts, Google Play. Yeah, I'm doing Last Jedi trivia over there, so do check that out. For now, though, it just remains for me to say thank you so much for watching, and may the Force be with you wherever in the world you may be.